Should you get solar panels for your home? If you had asked me that question a year ago, I would have told you, no, it doesn't make financial sense. I had done the math. You finance the system over 10 years, you're servicing that debt every month, and I figured it would take a full decade before the savings actually outpaced the payments. Why bother? But then I realized something. I had made a critical error in my assumptions. I assumed electricity prices would stay the same. They won't. They aren't. And once I rethought the math with rising rates, everything changed. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, I think you'll see exactly why I've completely reversed my position on this. Let's start with the foundation of this whole conversation, what you're actually paying for electricity in Canada right now. And here's the thing, it depends enormously on where you live. If you're in Quebec, you're paying around 7.8 cents per kilowatt hour. Lucky you. Hydro-Quebec is one of the cheapest power providers in all of North America. But if you're in Alberta, you could be paying over 25 cents. The Maritimes are up in the 18 to 24 cent range, and Ontario's tiered rates have been climbing steadily. The national average right now sits at about 17 cents per kilowatt hour. Across Canada, residential electricity rates have gone up roughly 47% since 2015. Ontario alone saw rates jump close to 29% just in 2026. And why are they going up so fast? Population growth, sure, but also, and this is the big one, the electrical grid is being hit with massive new demand from two directions at once: electric vehicles and artificial intelligence data centers. Do you know how much power an AI data center consumes? We're talking about facilities that draw as much electricity as a small city, and there are 19 gigawatts of data center projects queued up in Alberta alone. That new demand means grid upgrades, and those infrastructure costs, they get passed on to you, the residential ratepayer. So when I went back and redid my solar math, this time assuming rates keep climbing 3 to 5% a year, the whole picture changed completely. So let's talk actual numbers. What can solar save a Canadian homeowner? The range is $900 to $3,000 per year, depending on your province, your system size, and how much power you use. A typical 10 kilowatt residential system in Canada costs between $24,000 and $35,000 before any rebates or incentives. After incentives, and there are some good ones which I'll cover in a minute, most homeowners are looking at a payback period of 6 to 10 years. But here's the key thing people miss. These systems last 25 to 30 years. So if you pay it off in 8 years, you've still got 17 to 22 years of essentially free electricity on the other side of that, year after year, while your neighbor's hydro bills keep climbing. That's the math that changed my mind. Quick pause. If you're finding this useful, go ahead and hit that like button. It genuinely helps this video reach more Canadian homeowners who could benefit from this information. And if you haven't subscribed yet, now's a great time. I've got a lot more content coming on making smart decisions with your home. Okay, back to it. Now let's talk about how to make the upfront cost more manageable. Because the incentive landscape in Canada right now is actually pretty good. At the federal level, there's the Clean Technology Investment Tax Credit, a 30% refundable tax credit on qualifying solar installations. That program runs until December 31st, 2034, so there's time, but you don't want to wait forever. Then at the provincial level, things get interesting. Ontario launched the Home Renovation Savings Program in January 2025. That's a $1,000 per kilowatt installed, up to 50% of your total system cost, plus up to $5,000 for battery storage. Toronto residents can even access a PACE-style loan of up to $125,000 repaid through your property tax bill, and it transfers to the next owner if you sell. British Columbia. BC Hydro offers up to $5,000 for solar and another $5,000 for battery storage. Alberta has its Solar Club program. You earn 16 cents per kilowatt hour for power you export back to the grid. New Brunswick offers up to $3,000 in rebates. And almost every province has net metering, meaning on sunny days when your panels generate more than you need, that surplus goes back to the grid and you get credits on your bill. That surplus goes back to the grid and you get credits on your bill. Your roof is basically a mini power plant. Here's the one that surprises people the most. Solar panels don't just save you money while you live there. They add value to your home when you sell. Canadian data shows solar panels can add 3 to 4% to your home's resale value. On a $700,000 home, which is close to the national average, that's $21,000 to $28,000 in added value. Real estate appraisers in Ontario are increasingly noting that buyers are factoring utility costs into their offers. A home with lower ongoing overhead is worth more. It's that simple. One caveat, though, and this is important, that premium applies when you own the system outright. If you lease the panels, buyers may not want to take over that contract, and the value bump largely disappears. Own it, don't lease it. I know what you're thinking. We live in Canada, it's cold, it's cloudy. Does solar even work here? Honestly, this is one of the biggest myths in the solar conversation. Solar panels actually perform better in cold temperatures. The photovoltaic cells are more efficient when it's cold. Heat is actually their enemy. And modern bifacial panels, which generate power from both sides, can get a production boost of 10 to 25% in winter from snow reflection off the ground. It's called the albedo effect, and it works especially well here. Alberta actually leads the country in solar adoption. About 10% of homes in Calgary and Edmonton are already solar powered. Long daylight hours, high electricity rates, and supportive policies make it the solar sweet spot of Canada. Across the country, 4.2% of Canadian homes had solar as of 2024, about 630,000 households. And that number is growing fast. Canada's solar capacity grew 92% between 2019 and 2024. By 2030, analysts project more than 1 in 10 Canadian homes will have panels on the roof. Now I want to take a minute on the environmental side, because even if you're purely motivated by money, this is worth knowing. A typical residential solar system saves 3 to 4 tons of CO2 every year. That's the equivalent of planting over 100 trees annually or taking a car off the road for up to 10,000 kilometers. Over the system's 25-year life, you're preventing 75 to 100 tons of emissions. That's not nothing. And according to the IPCC, the carbon footprint of rooftop solar is 12 times lower than natural gas and 20 times lower than coal per kilowatt hour generated. Modern panels offset their own manufacturing emissions within just 1 to 2 years of installation, and then they keep running cleanly for decades. Canada's 2030 emissions reduction plan is targeting a 40% cut in greenhouse gas emissions. Your roof can be part of that story. One more thing I think gets underestimated: grid independence. Remember those ice storms in Ontario? The heat domes in BC? The rolling outages we've seen across the country? The grid is under more pressure than it's been in decades, and it's going to get more stressed, not less. If you pair solar panels with a battery storage system, you keep the lights on when the grid goes down. Your fridge runs, your house stays warm or cool, your neighbors are in the dark, you're not. And if you drive an EV or plan to, this is where the math gets really interesting. A 10 kilowatt solar system generates enough power to drive approximately 40,000 to 50,000 kilometers per year on pure solar. You're basically fueling your car for free. Quick note on where solar makes the most financial sense in Canada right now. If you're in Alberta, Saskatchewan, Nova Scotia, PEI, or Ontario, you're in the solar sweet spot. High rates, good incentives, fast payback, we're talking 6 to 8 years to break even. If you're in Quebec or Manitoba, hydropower keeps your rates low, so the purely financial case is weaker. The environmental and grid resilience arguments still apply, but be realistic about the numbers. And wherever you are, 3 rules. 1, own your system, don't lease. 2, get a transferable 25-year warranty. 3, document everything for resale. Own your system, get a transferable 25-year warranty, and keep your paperwork for when you sell. So, should you get solar panels for your home? A year ago, I said no. I thought the payback period was too long and the math didn't work. I was wrong, and the mistake was assuming electricity prices would stay flat. They haven't, they won't. And every year you wait, you're paying more, while solar systems keep getting cheaper and the incentive programs continue to tick down. For most Canadian homeowners, especially outside Quebec and Manitoba, I think the answer is yes. It saves you money every month, it protects you from future rate hikes, it adds real dollars to your home's resale value, and it does something good for the planet while it's at it. If you found this helpful, hit like and subscribe. I've got more content coming on home upgrades, personal finance, and making smart decisions with your biggest asset. And drop a comment below. Are you already solar, thinking about it, or still on the fence? I'd love to hear where you're at. See you in the next one.